Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Mission Snapshot. We are so happy that you have joined us today. Hannah is monitoring our Facebook feed, so if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. And throughout the show, she will be adding links to other videos, so be sure to keep an eye out on that for the additional information so that you can learn more about our story. So in the studio today, we have Veronica. And normally, that means it's evening school day.
Normally, yes.
Normally. But today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a chance to share a story with you. And our story today is going to be in the Udamal Pet area of Tamil Nadu. And it is about our Widows Sewing School project. We have not been able to talk about that one yet because we've had so many fabulous Bible worker stories and evening school stories. And so we snuck this in because I've been waiting to tell this story. And I thank you for accommodating me and allowing me.
I'm happy to hear the story, and it's exciting to talk about some of our other projects. So this is another wonderful way that we are helping to spread the gospel.
Right. So for our viewers who may not know, we have a project that's called the Widows Sewing School. And it's for women who have been widowed, hence the name.
Right.
But in the lower castes of India, once you are a widow, you are not able to remarry. And if you don't have sons that can take care of you, then you are really not well
You're
off.
just on your own.
You're exactly right. And so the widows needed something to be able to take care of themselves, a skill that they could learn. And one way that we do this is with the sewing school, or tailoring as they call it in India. And we have a school that's set up so that the women can learn, and then when they graduate, they actually get one of the sewing machines so that they can set up their own business. And the sewing machine is a treadle machine that's powered by their feet, because a lot of places don't have electricity or the electricity is intermittent. And this way they can set up their own shop and earn money for themselves because they don't necessarily have anything to do. So Hannah is going to drop a link to a Jesus for Asia Now show on our Widow School so that you can hear more about how this all got started. So there's way more information there, and I encourage you to go and watch that. So this sets up our story, and this is a widow in the Udamal Pet area called Asha. And I met her in 2019 when Christina and I and some others of our JFA team went to India. And she is a widow. She has 2 daughters, but she has no sons. And her daughters are older and married and off with their own families. So she did not have anybody who could help her.
So in their society, just for people who may not understand, but the daughters, once they marry, it's their responsibility to take care of their in-laws.
Yes.
So the parents, especially the mother-in-law, if something were to happen, they come and they live with their son. Therefore, the daughter is taking care of the mother-in-law. So that's why her daughters couldn't really help her, because they're busy taking care of their in-laws.
Exactly. It's not that they wouldn't have if they could. It's
That's just how their society works. It's kind of taboo for them to then go back and take care of their own mother. That's not what would happen.
No, that's not what would happen at all. So when I met Asha, it was actually at her baptism.
Oh, how wonderful.
So there is a whole story behind her baptism, and that's going to be told in a Jesus for Asia Now show, and Hannah's going to drop a link to that. And there is the picture of all those who were baptized that day that we were there. And Asha's the second from the left, And then Pastor Padmanabhan, who is her pastor, is on the very right.
Oh, okay.
And he was very instrumental in her becoming baptized. And that's what the Jesus for Asia Now show tells.
Nice.
So I don't want to take the time here to go
Right.
into that. So if people want to go and look at that, and I encourage you to, because it's a fabulous story.
Another wonderful story.
It is another wonderful story. So he was instrumental in helping Asha. And because she was a widow, John Wood encouraged Christina and I to just spend a little bit of time with her that afternoon to encourage her because she was all alone. So this is a picture of Christina and me with Asha after her baptism, and we learned there that she didn't have anyone to help her.
Right.
So this is where we heard her story,
Okay.
was after that. So we came back to the United States, and we had Asha on our minds and in our hearts. And so we were trying to think of what can we do for her, because there are no widow schools near where she lives.
Okay.
And so we prayed about it, and we asked one of the Bible workers there in the Udamalpet area, who is good at sewing, if she would tutor Asha.
Oh, okay.
And so she agreed. So this is one more thing that the
Wonderful.
Bible workers
Yeah.
do. And so we were able to give her a machine.
Oh, how
And
nice.
that's a picture of the machine. And you can't quite see the treadle in this, but this is the foot-powered sewing machine.
Right.
And Pastor Padmanabhan worked to find a space, a shop space for Asha, so that she could open her own tailoring business now that she had the knowledge for doing the sewing. And so this is a picture of Asha with her machine. And there's some dresses and material behind her that would be in her shop.
Nice.
And this was in the November of 2019 timeframe, so it's not while we were there. It was just something that we had prayed for, and we were so glad to get the photos to do that. And while they were there, this is an opening prayer. They were dedicating the shop to God, because that's one of the things they really, they're serious that their work reflects God and what they're doing. So when we went back this past January and February, one of the things we wanted to do was to step over to Asha's shop, because we wanted to see it.
Sure.
Right. So this is a photo of Asha in her shop.
Oh, how
and you
wonderful.
can see the samples of things that she can do and what she was selling, and how happy she looks to have this particular shop. But the interesting thing about this is that Asha's shop is closed for most of the day.
How does she earn a living if her shop isn't open?
Exactly. And that's the question we had.
Right.
So what Asha did when she got her shop is that she went around to the area women and started praying with them.
Oh, wow.
And so now when her shop is open, the women come to her. And so you can see some women that are sitting on the porch, the little front porch there of the shop, and they're waiting to talk to her. She has built up a lot of friendships with the women in the area. So whenever they have a problem, they come to her. But the reason why the shop is closed for most of the day is because Asha is out being trained by Pastor Padmanabhan to be a Bible worker.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, so she's learning that. I know, isn't that great? But we asked the question, like, if she's only open a few hours in the evening, what does that do? God brings in more business to her shop in the few hours every evening that she's open than she did when she had her shop open
Isn't
full
that
time.
so amazing? God is just so wonderful. I mean, I think that's just such a testament to us doing what he is calling us to do, and not worry about how our provisions, you know, how things are going to happen. I also love the fact that she was baptized before any of this came about.
Right.
Because it just kind of shows how genuine her conversion was
Right.
and her love for God before he blessed in any way.
Yes, right.
Before any of that was sure, you know, she was still struggling
Yeah.
as a widow with no means, really.
Right.
But came to know Christ. And that's just amazing. And then, you know, through that, he has now blessed with so many other things that she can do. I just think that's awesome.
I know. Isn't that awesome? So this is our last photo here is of Asha praying for this woman here who came to her shop, and she prayed for every one of those ladies, and our team surrounded them all and prayed, and it was a wonderful time. But I was so impressed that Asha wanted to pay it forward, so to speak.
Yes.
She knew what it was like to have Christ come into her heart and to live for him, and how wonderful he is, and she wanted everyone to know this.
That's awesome.
And so most of the time she's out fishing for men instead of sewing in her shop, but God is still blessing her anyway.
That's amazing.
So thank you for letting me tell this story. This is an ongoing story.
It's a wonderful story.
Because we don't know where this is going to go. And
she's still growing. She's becoming a Bible worker. There's going to be even more stories.
I know.
That's wonderful.
It's amazing. So I thank you for letting me tell the story on your slot day. So thank you. And I thank you all for joining us today. And if you would like to learn more about the Widows School Project or the Evening School Project or our Bible Workers or any other, we invite you to go to jesusforasia.org and look through our website and find all the projects that we are involved with. And if there's something that resonates with you, we'd love to have you as a partner. Otherwise, we just invite you to pray, because prayer changes things, it changes us, and it makes such a difference. So we thank you. We'll be back next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. This has been your Mission Snapshot.